Geetika, welcome to this wonderful session on retail automation. So first of all, I want to understand from you what retail automation means for an FMCG brand.
Firstly, thank you for having me over. And to be honest, every company is really into. It's now like they're tech companies rather than FMCG companies. But I think what makes FMCG more differential is the fact that consumers do demand that freshness, especially in a food company like Hershey's, which I represent. There is this requirement of ensuring there is a certain shelf life by which you reach it, and therefore a lot of back-end tech innovation is needed in order to ensure that. I think the other thing that kind of COVID taught us was ensuring our back-end supply chains are really well tied through with, again, the use of technology in order to get our products on shelf. I would say, again, for FMCG companies, consumers are buying them across different channels, right? So they could be buying them on e-com, in a physical stores, maybe experiencing a Hershey product at an airport. And therefore, how do we ensure that consistency of experiences from a retail lens? So I think that's also another area where it becomes very important for us as an organization to kind of keep harnessing technology.
So what sort of digital transformations have you brought into your organization?
So I think Hershey, we have for the last few years really been focusing around our digital transformation. I would maybe split it in two parts. The first part is internal, which is not consumer-facing digital transformation. That includes everything, right from the order taking that the last retailer gets, to our distributors, ensuring their continuous stock replenishment happens, to getting data at available at very quick speed. I think in the past we used to spend a lot of time in getting to the data. I think now the entire time is freed up from that, saying you get data because of automation much faster, and now it really moves to analysis of the data, and therefore what do we make of it. So I think a lot of, therefore, digital transformation internally is something we have done. And then I think the other part is, which a lot of companies are also doing, is digital transformation for the consumer. Yeah, so how do we come across as a brand which is embracing, the millennials and the Gen Zs and engaging with them where they are. There is something called cord cutters. I mean, it's basically everybody who's cut the cable cord. And these cord cutters are really inaccessible if we were to continue being in the old ways of advertising. And I think that's been an important shift in our mindset. And we put our money where our mouth is, as they say. So we've actually moved significant amount of money on digital advertising compared to how traditionally in the past it used to be more TV and outdoor. So I think that's the digital transformation. That is a consumer-facing one. We've experimenting a lot there. We've done metaverse, Hersheyverse to be precise. So I think there's just a lot of exciting experiments that we've done both in home and consumer-facing outside.
So when you talk about analyzing the data and introducing something new or maybe personalizing the needs of the consumers, can you elaborate on this with an example, please?
Yeah, so I think some of you may be familiar with, say, a Power BI, right? So in the past, we would have, somebody would be manually, let me maybe go down a little bit. So Hershey's is globally a chocolate company, yeah? And I'm sure a lot of you have seen it, cousins have got it in their suitcases, when they've come from the US. In India, Hershey, unfortunately, was only playing in syrups in the past, yeah? So then it moved on to spreads, milkshakes. It's only in 2020 that we've launched nationally, we've launched our chocolate brand, our flagship brand called Kisses. So, we're still a new chocolate player in that sense in the market. And given India being such a tropical country, we've had to put in cold chain solutions at the point of sale. We call them Visi coolers. They're like mini fridges. Some of you may have seen them on countertops in some stores. And therefore, in the past, it was a little bit spray and pray. Yeah, you put those Visi coolers, you put in our stocks and hope and pray that they're selling off. I think now, because of data analytics, we are really able to harness. So we are able to track them. So there is a tracking there. Every single time a TSI goes to the outlet, he needs to scan the Visi cooler. he needs to take a picture. We are able to therefore analyze the picture to see how pure it is, whether the retailer has put something else in it. We're able to see what is the productivity of the Visi cooler every month, how much are we selling in, so per dealer offtakes or the PDO. And therefore, a lot of that, data gets collated into meaningful insights. So, for example, in the summer months, which is now, my per dealer offtakes is going down, right? Because kids are not maybe, coming to school. There is a lot of these impulse purchase that is not happening. However, my sale in Visi cooler stores is higher than my sale in non-Visi cooler stores because the cooling solutions. So you're able to get data, make some sense of it, and then say, okay, action ABC. So yeah, just an example maybe to bring it to life.
So Geetika, you said you are a new brand in the country, but you have a huge fan following that ways. So did digital transformation or maybe technology played any role in that, bringing the loyal consumers on the board?
Yeah, I would say absolutely yes. Because, so while you said yes, there is a fan following, I mean, I would love more. So all of you, please go ahead and buy some more Hershey's. But like I said, if I hadn't done the internal digital transformation, we wouldn't have fresh stocks available, and we go to almost 250,000 stores now. So that tech enablement hadn't happened, we wouldn't be where we are, and we wouldn't be accessible to consumers who want to buy us. And I think if we hadn't gone from a digital lens out to reach more consumers, then we wouldn't have got that brand love. Yeah? So I think now the brand is becoming more recognizable. If I were to look at premium chocolates category alone, we would be the top 3 brands in the country. So yeah, I think had we kind of put our head down and not embraced digital, we wouldn't have been in this position that we are in, which is super strong growth levels. Yeah.
So what sort of digital transformations, changes can we expect from Hershey's going ahead, which are going to make it a rage in the market for the consumers?
Yeah, okay. So I think, like I said, digital transformation to me, is a means to an end. Yeah, it is not an end in itself. So I don't want to do digital transformation as a tick box. It's meant to help unlock something. A lot of the times what it helps unlock in a company like Hershey's is bandwidth. Yeah, we are still a small company, growing very fast. And therefore, if I'm able to remove the grunt work into somebody else kind of doing it at the back end, then it's able to free up that time to have people creatively thinking what more could be solutions in order to become a rage, like you said. So yeah, I would say that's at least how I look at it.
So how do you rate your digital transformation journey at present?
So I would say we are actually slow starters, but very fast followers. Yeah. So in the last 4-5 years, I think the amount of leaps and bounds that we have made as an organization have been immense. And there have been more organizations which have done it maybe 10-15 years ago as well. So I think we've been slow to start, but we've leapfrogged some of these technologies in order to therefore reach very, very quickly to where we are. I think the other advantage we have is Hershey's is a global organization. So while we customize some of our technology solutions front end to be local, there is a huge back end of global technology support that we get. And digital transformation is super critical. So now globally we have, for the first time, we have a CTO on the board of the global organization as well, right? So it was there, but it was under, our other organizational parts. Now it's like gets a seat at the table.
So technology is playing a great role at Hershey's, that ways we can say. So we're talking about metaverse foray. Can you please tell us more about that?
Yeah. So yeah, Hersheyverse is what we'd launched. It was intended as a limited, during Christmas season launch, and I think it managed to get us the kind of output we were hoping for. I think more important for me, Metaverse is an example of the experimentation that we encourage around digital, yeah, because nobody today has all the answers. So if you were to ask anybody saying, are they sure the metrics they are measuring are the right ones? To be honest, we are measuring some metrics. Are they the perfect ones? We don't know. It's a little bit of trial and error and learning and relearning. And I think for us, that's how I look at the Metaverse or the Hersheyverse work that we had done. But genuinely, I think Metaverse is a super way through which to engage with our consumers in a more innovative manner. Yeah? I don't think, it's not passive, it is an active engagement that they do. It allows us to harness our global, our global reach. It allows us to potentially be innovative in the way we advertise. So I do think that for going forward, I would love for each one of you in the audience also to ensure that you keep pushing the envelope, keep experimenting, doing more, because that's the only way you will understand what works with your audience. And most important, you will get the insights. Your consumers is indirectly touching, feeling, engaging with you as a brand. And, that's invaluable. So absolutely something I would encourage everybody to do.
So, Geetika, you touched upon for the entire retail industry. We have to delve deeper into specifically for the FMCG industry. How can Metaverse be of help to the brands?
Yeah, so like I said, I think one of them is the ability to engage with consumers in an immersive format, right? So they're really, and some brands may be even more suited to it. I don't know if you guys have, read the Nike example. It's like they're really engaging with the brand at a deeper level. So yeah, more deeper connections. I think you could get, using NFTs, a lot of ability to get even financially, your brand kind of working with consumers. You get a lot more consumer insights going from there. You get a lot more global breadth of, knowledge that you can glean. So yeah, I would say true for Hershey, but true for every FMCG company.
So, is Metaverse only the place for the brands to engage with the consumers, or can it become a sales channel as well?
No, which is why I said through NFTs, I do think you can actually monetize that relationship that you have. But you have to first build that credible relationship, yeah? Because I think once consumers engage with you, I mean, we didn't monetize it. So if you look at Hershey, we didn't really want to sell Hershey on that. But you see a lot of these, sometimes I think the Air Jordans are more expensive on the Nike verse than they are on, in real life. So it's just how you monetize that. Once you build a strong relationship, once you have consumers engaging with you, it is absolutely through NFTs very possible to monetize it.
So Metaverse is a new thing which the brands are curious about innovating and understanding more about it.
Yes. No, and like I said, keep experimenting. We don't have the answers. I mean, I can at least say for Hershey, we don't have all the answers, but we have all the gumption it takes to keep trying out new things and then taking it from there.
Trying new things leads to new learnings, and new learnings leads to discovering new paths.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Geetika. If you want to add anything as a last note, please.
I'm actually open if the audience would like to have any questions. I don't know if this is an interactive audience or not.
Oh, it's a question on you guys. Are you interactive?
Would you like, I'm happy to take any questions. Otherwise, I think maybe I can wrap it up as well by saying that Hershey is an example of an organization that has really embraced digital transformation in order to really get a lot more growth. We're growing far faster than how we believe the categories that we play in are growing. So I would therefore strongly encourage each one of you to keep that on, keep retail automation at the front and center of what you do, and don't miss the boat. We don't want to be in a situation 3 years later where everybody else has progressed first, but you haven't really managed to learn and unlearn a little bit and then relearn a little bit. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Geetika.
Thank you so much.
To have
Thank
you
you.
over here.